and he's on the, was he on the planning? No, he's on the Board of Education. I keep getting mixed up. And then there's David. He owns Danny O's downtown in Shelton, a restaurant. And he's also a broker, real estate broker. And then there's Kevin. He's a teacher up in New Britain. And there's Danny. He owns Danny O's down the River Road in Shelton. And he's on the Planning and the Zoning Commission. So that's them. That's my 5 kids.
Very active family.
Yeah, they are. And very good, too, I might as well say.
Now, with your children, you sent them back to Ireland?
Yes. The first one to go was my oldest one, Marion, and she was over there. My mother was sick, and her and I went over for a couple of weeks. And then the next time she went, she took her brother Jimmy with her. He was 10 and she was going on 12. And then David and Kevin, they went over, and they were over there for about 6 weeks. This was after that. And then Danny and I went over, and we were over there for, I think, about 3 weeks. But Jimmy has been over there, I know of 4 times. He might have been over there more than that, though.
And he told me that he's had experience with a lot of your family and
relatives.
On the farm, your relatives.
Oh, yeah, yes, yeah. With my brother, he helped him with the cattle and all that. And he used to go to the fairs, cross the cattle over the road into the other fields.
And you said he liked the sports?
Yeah, he did. He went to the football games. He saw Kerry playing, I forgot who it was, but I know it was Kerry. And then he saw Galway play, and he went to hurling matches and different things, yeah.
Now here in Connecticut, did you raise your children with a lot of Irish traditions at home?
They were always involved in the Irish feshes. They took dancing classes from Kathleen Mulcairn, Marion did, and then she took from Sally and Maureen McMahon. And David danced against or with Johnny O'Keefe. Don't know if you know him or not. And Kevin was very good at it, but he didn't like it. So he used to cry every time he'd get up on the stage because he didn't want to do it. So I said to him, well, you don't want to do it, you don't have to. And Jimmy didn't want to do it, so he didn't do it either. But Marion and David did.
And you were telling me that was how you kept in touch with Ireland, too, by going to the feshes?
Oh, yeah. Up to Boston. We went to Boston, up New York State, New Haven, Fairfield. I can't remember where the feshes were in Fairfield then. And Waterbury. Went all over. Yeah.
Did your husband enjoy being
Oh, yeah, he went too. Oh, he went. He took them. A couple of times I worked at the admitting office in the Griffin Hospital, and you had to alternate on Sundays, and a couple of times I couldn't go. He'd take them. Oh, yeah, he took them. He enjoyed it.
Okay. Let's see. Switching back a little bit, can you remember what your first purchase was in America?
What my first purchase was in America? Clothes.
What kinds of clothes?
Probably suits. I remember I had a gray suit. Skirts, blouses, coat, and ice cream. My cousin Tom, we'd go for a walk, and so one day we went to this ice cream parlor on the corner of Edward and State Street in New Haven. They had the best ice cream going. He said, what do you want? I said, I really don't know. And he said, how about a butterscotch sundae? I I said, good. Didn't even know what it was. Sat down and boy, did I enjoy it. From then on, that was my favorite. Yeah.
Did you ever want to go back home to live?
Well, I kept saying, you know, I told my mother after a year and that I'd go back, but then I got married and had my children, so I liked it here afterwards.
Afterwards, did you not like it at first?
No, I didn't. Well, it was a lot of traffic and buses and everything else, and I was used to being out in the country, and there was no traffic there, no buses, just on the main Dublin-Sligo road. You'd see the buses, but that was about it. But here there was a lot of traffic, and I was always leery of that. But then I gradually got used to it.
Did the noise bother you?
I don't remember it bothering me, no.
How about the weather here? Did it seem very different from?
Yes, it did. I found the winters to be very cold. I remember one winter in Ireland, we had snow. It was, oh God, at least 3 feet deep. It seemed to me anyway. But it was never as cold as I thought. Here it was, to me, it was cold. But that's it.
How about the birds and the trees and things? Were they really different from what you remembered?
We had the birds at home, the robins and all that. But I don't remember. I always liked birds. So I love the birds to this day. I'm always feeding them. That's what my neighbors keep telling me. Stop feeding those birds. You know what? You're bringing rats around. It's true.
Now, do you still go back to Ireland?
Yes.
How often?
Well, I haven't been back now in a year. The year before that, I was back twice. I was back for Christmas, and I was back in the spring. And I like going back to see my brother. I stay with him. We talk about old times and what we did when we were kids and troubles we got into and whatnot, you know. But I'd like to go back again this Christmas. I enjoyed that Christmas I was at home.
What do you do when you're there? Do you visit family? Or?
Well, I stay with my brother, and he has television, and of course he got the phone, and it's altogether different now than it was when I first came out here. Everybody has a phone, everybody has a television, or radio, wireless, he calls it a wireless. And then visit my cousins, and they visit us, and the neighbors visit. But I will say this, it's not like it used to be years ago when you could go up to your neighbor and sit down and talk and whatnot. Today, you're more or less invited into the house now. But my cousins, of course, you know, we go there where you don't have to be invited because they're about the same age as I am. And they come to visit us, so. And the neighbors, the older ones. The younger generation, it's like here.
Mm-hmm.
You get an invitation, you go. If you don't, well, you know, you'd like to stop by to see them because you knew their parents and that. But that's about it.
Now, when you say you're invited as opposed to then, did it used to be just an open door that you
Yeah,
would
an
go?
open, yeah. My mother would take the accordion, the melodeon out. It wasn't an accordion, it was a melodeon, one of those small ones. She'd take it out and start playing it. And the next thing you know, they'd be knock on the door, they'd all come in. Be singing and whatnot, telling stories, and that's the way it was years ago.
And how would you feed those people, or would they bring something with them?
No, my mother would always make soda bread. And you'd have a pot of tea on. You'd always have a kettle boiling. And my mother would all had a saying, You never know who's coming across the bog, so put on an extra spud. It's an extra potato. And that's the way it was years ago. But it's not like that now.
And how about, did you have a turf fire, or did you have
We had a turf fire when we were kids, yeah. But now my brother has oil heat. But he's still got a stove where he can have, you can, use the turf fire, but he doesn't.
Must be a whole different smell.
Oh, it's just over there now, it's just like here. Everybody has 2 cars. My cousins, let me see. There's 4 kids at home. They each have their own car, and the parents have a car. So there's 5 cars in the driveway.
All modern.
Yeah, oh, it's very modern today. Very modern. Not at all like... We used to take a shortcut years ago across the bogs from Ruski over to Barnacola, and we'd cut across the bogs. And now there's no more bogs. You can't, because it's all cars now. If you want to go someplace, well, somebody will take you in the car.
What did they do with the bogs?
Oh, the bogs are still there, but this was like a path through the bogs. It was like a pathway through the bogs, and it would take maybe 2 or 3 miles off. It was a shortcut, but it's not there anymore.
Now, when you were walking through the bogs, were you in any danger of falling into a bog or anything?
No, because it was like a driveway, but it was a path. So you followed that path over to get out onto your own road.
I see.
But it's not there anymore because brush and everything else has overgrown it. And anyhow, you couldn't use it because everybody has a car.
Right.
So that's that.
Now, you also have grandchildren?
Yes.
How many grandchildren do you have?
5.
5.
One just graduated in June from the university down in Maryland. He's a political science major. And the other, his sister, is down in Washington. And then my Sharon, who's here with me, her daughter is up at Central. And I think she's going in for business. She's up there. And then the 2 little ones, Gina's 8 and Jessica is 6. They're in grammar school.
So they're small.
Yeah.
Have any of them or all of them been back to Ireland?
No. Just their fathers. And of course, the ones in Pennsylvania, the mother has been over there. She's been over there 3 times that I know of.
Okay. Let's see. What is your greatest accomplishment in life?
Having my children. They're good kids. And they're ambitious, but not overly ambitious. And they're good to people. I mean, I have a son who I think if he had his last $10 and he knew that somebody needed it, he would give it to them. And they're all like that. They help each other out. That gives me a lot of pride and joy, because they're always there to help each other, and that's good. I remember once this son of mine that would give the shirt off his back to people who needed. This old man, he had no family, and he knew, I guess he had food, but he didn't have anything to drink in the house. So he bought him a case of beer, put it on the back porch. So when he opened that door, there was a case of beer there for him. And I was very proud of him to do that. And that's when he was starting out. He was going to school and everything, and he didn't have that much money to buy anything, but he did that for him.
What a kind, generous
Yeah,
thing to do.
yeah. But they're all like that. They help each other out, and they'll help people out if they know they need something. They're there. They don't want people to know that they do it. And I like that. That I like.
I agree, that's nice.
It is.
What advice do you have for young people coming to the United States today, young people from Ireland?
You can be what you want to be in this country. I would tell them if they're going to come and live here, which today they can't really, there's a lotto for those who want to come here. And for those who get here, I would say, by all means, go to school. If you have to work during the day, go at night, or vice versa. But they can be what they want to be. That's my advice.
Are you glad that you stayed here?
I am. I have my family. And I have a lot of good friends, and I have my in-laws, my sister-in-laws, and my brother-in-law, and they're all good people. And I know a lot of good people. And I know Joe Lieberman. Do you know him?
Yes, I know he is.
Okay, I know him. I've met him down at the restaurant. Both restaurants, I should say. I think he's a very nice man. So there's a politician that I know that I can throw around. Oh, and I met the Attorney General. I met him too. All because of my kids, not because of me.
Coming into the restaurant?
The Attorney General and Joe Lieberman happened to be in town, and David was opening the restaurant, and he came over to see him and wish him good luck. And I thought that was very nice of him. And Rosa DeLaura I met down at Danio's, a fundraiser. And the Attorney General I met at a fundraiser. I forgot.